Many people would rather live their lives without knowing some harsh truths. However, there are those people who would be grateful to know some of the harsh truths that can transform their lives. And today, we're going to be exploring some of the harsh truths about money, because these are very pivotal information that I wish that I had known earlier. And as such, I want to share them with you because it will give you an opportunity to hopefully change the trajectory of your future if you consider them and utilize these harsh money truths in your transformation and build out of the future that you're looking to create for yourself. Welcome back to Ira Living. In this video, we're going to be looking at some harsh money truths, and we're going to be exploring them, 12 of them, to give us an insight and an understanding in some of the things that people say that really aren't true in the relationship that we have with money, and also in the way that we build wealth and manage the money that we have. So let's have a look at what these 12 harsh money truths are. Now, the first harsh money truths that I'm going to share with you is that you do not have all the time in the world. Many times you hear people will say to you, oh, don't worry, you have all the time in the world. You don't. And therefore, if I had known that before, it would have made a lot of difference to me. But because I constantly hear people saying, oh, you can put some stuff off and put them off and put them off, it becomes a thing where you consider that you have all the time in the world. But we know that the time up to our 30 is so pivotal and significant in our development, in our management of money, and in building a platform on which we want to build the rest of our future, that it is important that we recognize that we do not have all the time in the world. Because think about it. Look at the difference it would make if you were investing, say when you were 16, you started an investment fund and you allow that investment fund to grow until you're 30. With time on your side, it would make such a significant difference to the amount of money that you can accrue by the time you get to, say, 50. And this investment doesn't even need to be continuing after you're 30 for this profound change to happen. And therefore, it's important that we understand that we do not have all the time in the world. Now, the second one that we're going to be looking at is that there are no shortcuts to building wealth. Okay, building wealth requires time, it requires patience, and it requires discipline. And for us to be able to build wealth, we're going to need to do so by learning some of the skills that we need to help us, and also by being tenacious and allowing time to compound on our behalf, by making sure that we're strategic in the way that we're working out to build this wealth. Because nothing that we do for shortcut is going to get us there. Those things will just lead us into being scammed or defrauded. Because if somebody is going to come and tell you of a shortcut that you can use to build wealth, you need to be very concerned about what they're telling you and ensure that you are not listening to those advice, because they cannot be productive for you. The third one that you need to be mindful of is that there is a time and a place for everything. So we don't have to be rushing over ourselves to do all of the things that need to be done at a particular point in time. However, there is a place and a time when we need to work on ensuring that certain endeavors are being taken care of, because it pays off when we ensure that we're structuring out the things that we're doing and doing things in their particular time period. And number 4 is to be clear about what you want and start planning for it early so that you can live life on your own terms. When we are unclear about the things that we're aspiring towards, it makes it more difficult for us to plan it out. So some of the things that you might want to do is to expose yourself to lots of different surroundings, lots of different environment, and to be able to give yourself the opportunity to think outside of the box so that you can explore different fields, different opportunities, and be able to utilize them in ensuring that it's helping you to get to where you are aspiring to get to. And it might also give you aspirations that you had not thought of before, because you've exposed yourself to new ideas and to new experiences that can help you to advance your progression and live life on your own terms. Number 5 is to always create an investment fund. Now, starting out initially, an investment fund is simply savings that you put aside, and this might be initially without interest, and so you're saving it maybe in your home and in envelopes or in jars, or it might be that you set it up as a savings account that is an online account. It might be high yielding, or it might just be what is available to you initially when you're getting started. However, having this savings put aside allows you the opportunity to create an investment fund, and an investment fund allows you the resources that you need to be able to invest in your dreams, your aspirations, and your ideas that can catapult you to a new dimension of living in its totality. Number 6 is to be careful who you take advice from. Not everybody have your best interests at heart, and some advice are just ungodly to its very core. So it's important that you're mindful who is advising you. Also, what expertise do they have in giving you advice? Because if they haven't lived the experience that they're advising you about, or lived it poorly and have learned the errors of their ways through the reflection, and are now practicing some of those holistic knowledge that they've acquired as a result, what good is it for them to be giving you advice? Because they're advising you about things that they have no tangible experience of. Number 7, monitor your language, because your words help to create your reality. So it might be that you're unable to do something. It's not that I am unable to do it, full stop. It's I'm not yet able to do it. So be conscious about the way in which you're phrasing the things that you're saying, because you want to ensure that the words that you're speaking are words that are actually going to add life and add vitality to your advancement and help to create the reality that you actually want and is aspiring to achieve. Number 8, you get to decide what you want to spend your money on, and you spend your money on things that are giving you fulfillment and not to impress others. Because at the end of the day, people are doing what they're doing, and those people who have the time to care about what it is that you're getting up to are really not the people that you should care to impress. So therefore, make your decision about how you're going to spend your money. Is it a worthwhile venture to spend your money that way? What are some of the things that are important in your life that you want to acquire for yourself and also for your family? What experiences do you want to curate, and seek out the attempts to get those things and make them a priority in the way that you do your spending, or in the way that you're spending your money. Number 9 is to decide your guilt-free living expenses, and be mindful to ensure that you are rewarding yourself in that way and being generous to yourself as well as generous to other people, because it is important that we are seeking out ways in which we can support others in their venture. Because when people are genuinely in need and you help them, it is not something that they will forget, because they value the fact that you spend the time to assist them in their point of need, and they're appreciative of the endeavors that you have done on their behalf. And that oftentimes comes back to benefit you in the future, or benefit others who are connected and associated with you. Number 10 is that you need to grow your value through adding to your skill set when you're looking forward to moving to the next level. Every level that you're expecting to move to have its own demands of you. And until you have managed to get to that point where you've elevated your value status to that place, then it's going to be challenging for you to get to that new level. So it's imperative that every level that you have overcome, you give yourself the time to be stable at that level, whilst you consider what are the values that you then need to add to yourself so that you can start your climb to ascend to the next level as well. Because you can rest assured that that new level is going to have a higher demand on you than the level that you are elevating from. Number 11 is, if you cannot afford it now, wait and plan for it. That way you can enjoy it peacefully. Some of the times people rush ahead to get things way before they can actually afford it. And it puts them in a position of extreme stress, because now they need to pay off or pay down a debt that they have attracted to themselves before they were at the point where they could afford the gift that they are giving themselves. The other aspect of this also is that sometimes you want to get yourself things, and if you try to afford it before you can genuinely afford it, what you're buying will oftentimes be substandard to what you genuinely need to gift yourself. And therefore it's important that you spend the time to ensure that you have acquired or amassed enough means and resources to be able to afford it, so that you can actually enjoy it in the fullness of time and as peacefully as possible. Number 12 is to reframe and recondition your thoughts so that you're able to project your vision. This is important because oftentimes we have been conditioned with ideologies that doesn't serve us, and some of which can be absolutely destructive to us and to the advancement that we want to make. And therefore, it's important that we reframe how we think and we examine the ideas and the value systems that we have, so we can recondition ourselves and be in a position to be better able to advance ourselves, because we have attract new ways of thinking, new perspective, new ideas that will actually be advantageous to our progression. These are some harsh money truths that we need to know that will impact our lives for the better. And remember, financial literacy is revolutionary. It has transformed my life, and I believe it can do the same to yours.